Hello there, fellow peasants. Welcome back. It's been a few days since I put out a video, but here we go. Today we're going to be talking about horror films that I think are overrated. Does this mean I don't own them? I don't like them at all? No, that's not what it means. It just means these are films that I don't quite understand the praise they get. Not saying they're bad, anything like that. Just saying I don't think that they're like next level, oh my god, game-changing movies. So I'll explain each one and why I don't think they're that great or revolutionary or whatever. So let's get into it. Number one is The Conjuring, the first Conjuring film. A lot of people act like this is the modern day Amityville, the modern day Exorcist. You know, they say it's like a revival of horror in a way. It's considered a horror classic. And I can understand that for the most part. James Wan did a good job of building suspense and tension and not showing a whole lot through most of the movie. But by the end of the movie, one, it starts to drag a bit, and two, it gets too fantastical. It gets too Hollywood, starts showing too much, and I think he kind of shit the bed at the end of the film and just showed too much, and I think that it could have been a lot better. So I just don't think it's that great of a movie. I don't like the rest of the Conjuring universe either, but, you know, remember, this is just my opinion. Films are subjective, so you don't have to agree with me, obviously. I don't have to agree with you. So, The Conjuring, yep. And these are in no particular order. This isn't like a countdown or something. This is just a list. So, this isn't like a countdown or top 10 or whatever. So, next, Friday the 13th, the original Friday the 13th. It's okay. It's good. The killer's all done in POV. It's Mrs. Voorhees. And I'm not going to sit here and say like a lot of Friday fans. This isn't even a lot of Friday fans' favorite Friday movie. A lot of people like 2, 3, 4, 6. You know what I mean? But the general population seems to really like dig Friday the 13th. It's just kind of known in pop culture as being a classic horror film, and it is in a sense in that it started the Friday franchise with Jason and all that. But I mean, Jason didn't even get his fucking hockey mask until the third film. So I don't know. I just don't think it's that great of a film. It's not bad. It's not bad, but I don't think it should get the praise that it gets. Next is Scream 4. Scream 4. So I'm a huge Scream fan. If you watch this channel, you know how I feel about any Scream movie past number 3. I really love the first 3. I think the trilogy is perfect the way it is. Didn't need anything after that. I really just don't get why people love Scream 4. I just don't get it. I don't think Jill's that great of a killer. I don't even remember her boyfriend's name. You know what I mean? That was also like the second killer. Hayden, whatever her name was, she was okay in the movie. I guess it just felt unneeded to me. I just can't care. And is it a bad movie? Is it a horrible movie? No, but it's just like I just can't care. You know, it's like 3 wrapped it up pretty nice. And I don't see why it gets all this praise and people treating characters like in 4 like they're as good as Stu or Billy or Mickey or Mrs. Loomis. You know, it's just like those killers were trash. I'm sorry, in comparison. She wanted to be YouTube famous. I'm sorry, but that's a crap motive. I don't care. Carrie, the original Carrie. A lot of people give this movie praise. I got about an hour into it and I had to turn it off. It was boring. No offense to anybody who likes the movie. I just couldn't sit through it. I mean, I'm a huge 70s horror fan. Most of the horror films I love are from the 70s. And I like slow burn. It's not like I have a short attention span or anything like that. I can sit and watch The Shining, The Exorcist. I can sit and watch Amityville. I can sit and watch, Black Christmas. The original Halloween's a slow burn. I can sit and watch people sit and have conversations for hours. But it's got to be good. You know what I mean? And Carrie just didn't have a decent slow burn. It wasn't worth the wait for the final scene, whatever that is. Next, the Blair Witch Project. I remember, so I was, I'm going to date myself here, but, so I was like 14 when the Blair Witch Project came out, 13, 14. And so, I remember like the marketing and everything, like this is real found footage. These fuckers went out in the woods and did this, you know what I mean? And I remember watching it for the first time and just being like, wow, that's it? That kind of sucked. Now the Blair Witch, the Blair Witch did kick off the found footage thing, basically gave life to Paranormal Activity. But, at the end of the day, I just don't think it's that great of a movie. Is it a horrible movie? No. But I don't think it should get the praise, as much praise that it gets. Like I said, these movies, other than Carrie, I don't think any of these movies are horrible. You know what I mean? I just think that people need to just calm down a bit when they try to act like these are groundbreaking, boundary pushing films. I don't know. So. Next is Terrifier, the first Terrifier. I haven't seen Terrifier 2 yet. I've only seen Terrifier 1. I remember, Terrifier 1 had me locked in. I really liked it. Towards the beginning, maybe the first half. But it really drags at one point. I remember going over to my cousin's house a year or two ago, and we're watching this thing, and I was just like... man, I just remember thinking, at one point, man, is this going to be done? How many rooms in this warehouse or whatever it was can he chase these girls in? I don't know. And, by the time it gets to, the really gruesome kill scene at the end or whatever, I'm just like, oh, my God, thank God this is over. It just wore out its welcome. And so that's why when I hear, the new movie is, 2.5 hours long or something, I'm just like, oh, my God, I could barely stomach the first film. You know what I mean? In terms of the length of it, and I just don't think it was justified. I didn't care. I didn't care for it after the second half of the film. So art's great killer. The look of the film is awesome. All that's there. You know what I mean? It's just it wore out its welcome. It's just they could have cut 15 minutes out of the movie and probably would have made it better. Next, A Nightmare on Elm Street. This is controversial. So I understand A Nightmare on Elm Street was an original idea, never been done before. The idea that someone can kill you in your sleep, and Freddy Krueger's iconic. I get all that. But when you really go back and look at it, it doesn't stand the test of time, at least for me. It's very dated. The effects are very dated. It's not that scary. Freddy's not that scary in the first movie. I really don't think he is. I don't think Freddy holds up as a scary character. The idea of Freddy and the visual aspect of Freddy is creepy, but the original movie is just not scary anymore. And it's very dated. It looks very 80s. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you need to have something else to make up for something being very dated. It's like the original Halloween is very dated. Black Christmas is very dated. The original Amityville, very dated. The Exorcist, very dated. Visually very dated. Clothing-wise, interior furniture, shit like that. You know what I mean? But it's the story. It's what's going on around all that allows you to forgive how outdated the dialogue and everything else that you're looking at is. And Nightmare on Elm Street does not provide provide that. I don't believe. I think it's a lower quality film than it is perceived to be. That it's you know what I mean? Like people look back on Nightmare on Elm Street and think, what a dark, sinister, high budget horror film. It's like it's really not. And I own the film. I got it. I mean, I like the movie, but it's just not, creme de la creme. You know what I'm saying? Next, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. This movie, I watched it one time. I own it. I have it. You know what I mean? But I thought it was good. Thought it was okay. I just didn't think it was anything to write home about. It's maybe like a 6 or 7 out of 10 for me. I don't think it's that fantastic. I like the cinematography in it. I like the vibe. I like the mood. But there was just something missing. There was some. I don't know what I can't put my finger on it, but it just didn't. It just didn't do it for me for some reason. I can't put my finger on why exactly. But I just don't think that it. I just don't think it deserves to be considered one of the greatest horror films of all time. That's just my opinion. Next, Trick or Treat. This is from the same dude who shot and made, I think his name is Michael Dougherty. He also made Krampus in 2015. It's like an anthology. And the reason this is put on this list of overrated horror films is because I just don't care about the story being told at all, or the stories being told. I just don't care. They're not that interesting, and at least for me. But I own it, and I do like watching it only simply for the fact that around Halloween time, this thing is visually puking Halloween all over the runtime. I mean, it just looks. I mean, there's just Halloween everywhere. I mean, it's what a Halloween movie with Michael Myers should probably look like. You know what I mean? And they have yet to really do that. If we could get a Halloween movie that has as much Halloween atmosphere and visuals as Trick or Treat does, oh damn, man! Like we'd be in a good spot. I think people would really enjoy that, but I don't think we're gonna get that for whatever reason. But yeah, I just think it's visuals over substance in the movie, and that's why it's on this list. And the last on this list is called Don't Look Now. Don't Look Now. I've been hearing all kinds of praise and people saying how amazing this horror film is, and it's a 70s staple. It's a classic. And I'm going to tell you right now, I bought the movie. I own it on Blu-ray. I liked the movie. I thought it was cool. But it did drag in spots, and I liked the way it was shot. I liked the graininess of it. I like the majority of the film. It's just some parts it drags. Some of the editing's a little choppy, and I just don't see why it's up on this pedestal that it is. I mean, some people, if you want the Criterion Collection version of this, you're going to pay out the butt. I mean, it's like $40-50 just for the Blu-ray. You know what I mean? I don't know. It gets a lot of critical acclaim for some reason. And I get to some extent, but it's still, at the end of the day, it's not mind-blowing. It's not The Exorcist. It's not The Omen. It's not The Shining, And I'm not saying everything on here needs to be up to that level. You know what I mean? But I'm just sitting here saying, I hear all this praise, I hear all this critique, I hear all this stuff about some of these films, and then I go and watch them, and I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, didn't really hit me like that, Didn't hit me on that level. So that's about it, guys. I just wanted to run by you some of the movies that I think that are overhyped, overrated. Not saying these aren't good movies. These are still most of these movies are good movies. You know what I mean? It's just, I just don't think they're they're up there. You know what I mean? I just don't think they're like, holy fucking shit, you wouldn't believe this. You gotta see this. This is the fucking Gone with the Wind of horror. You know what I mean? So, all right, guys. Well, I'll talk to you later. Peace out, peasants. Bye-bye.